It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
And we're here at Slumberland at the lake for another cup of coffee with Uncle Chris and your man Wild Will, and we got a great show.
Really good coffee too. You brought some special coffee for us.
Yeah,
today.
I got some kind of like
doggy.
foo-foo latte frappa cookie something. So it's good stuff all the way around. I've yet to see you take a drink though.
I'm afraid of the cup.
Coolest cups at the lake.
They are.
Uncle Chris and I got a lot to talk to you guys about this week. NFL draft in the books. Chiefs get stronger, it looks like. We got some local stories for you, and bears continue to pop up all over the lake.
What's up with that? I mean, more black bears this year than ever.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. And a LeBron James, who's a despicable human being, he has a card sell for a record $5.2 million. Wow. So we'll talk about that, which may be a viable option as sports cards, and a Dogecoin update. But first, a word from our good friends right here at Slumberland at the Lake.
Looking for a relaxing place to gather?
At Slumberland, we have lots and lots of sectionals.
All with the quality, value, and look you want for less.
Plus, get free shipping with no minimum.
Only at Slumberland Furniture. When you buy a mattress from Slumberland
And sleep on it for 120 nights.
if you're not happy, we'll make it right.
Get this Sealy Memory Foam Queen mattress for just $399.
Or come lay on our selection of 8 memory foam mattresses, all for under $1,000.
All right, we're here at Slumberland, and you saw our friend Daryl, and I'll tell you what, this is the place, and I'm actually going to be taking full advantage of their incredible variety and selection, because we're making a move here pretty soon, and so we want to get a new bedroom set and a new living room set, and it won't be the first time
for Wild Will, right?
Yeah, and it won't be the first time that Jill and Daryl have furnished my entire home.
Wow.
So excited about that. But as we come back, man, what a weekend it was at Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, we had the Magic Dragon Street Meets Nationals. We had Harbor Hop, and I mean, it was crazy.
And we had KB on the air for the first time at Lake TV.
Didn't even let me get there.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the big news. Is KB is back in the media realm at Lake of the Ozarks. We're proud to announce joining our team right here at Lake TV.
Yeah.
Huge, exciting news. KB will be starting his own show in June. It'll be a weekly hour-long variety show. He'll have some different segments out in the community, talking with people, being the always most trusted voice here at the lake for the last 20 years, and now you're going to be able to catch that on Lake TV.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, you and I, we've talked about it here on Cup of Coffee before. We're both big KB fans when he was on the radio. One of the superstars, media-wise, in the lake area, and so, you know, sometimes you just get tired of where you're at or whatever happened. He retired from where he was, and we were like missing him, and so we got in touch with him, said, hey, interested in doing some TV, and had some talk, and he's really talking about doing some fun stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And he got started, like you said, this weekend with the Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals, and he is a gearhead. So that is right up his alley. And the most important thing you hit on was not only did we miss him, but the people here at the lake missed him, because he's always been a trustworthy source. He's always been, you know, right in the middle, and he's able to facilitate things, and people definitely were vocal about missing him. And so for us here at Lake TV, we thought it was important that we get him back on the airways, back on the network somehow, so we can have that voice to the people of Lake of the Ozarks. And we're so excited about what's burning with Kevin KB Burns. Catch that in June. And stay tuned, because you'll see KB making all kinds of crazy appearances between now and then, so you don't have to wait, including the Magic Dragon Street Meet official recap, which was put on Lake TV's Facebook this week, and that looked great.
You know, the only thing I'm upset about is right now I'm the prettiest guy on Lake TV, right? I mean, they don't call me Fabio for nothing. And now KB's coming on. He's a little prettier than me, so he might take over that. You're still way down low.
I'm still trying to get out of my pile of McMuffin wrappers over here, so I don't even know how I could win the pretty contest. I had to check my feet and make sure I didn't have toilet paper or a McMuffin wrapper, in my shoe.
Have you ever done that? Walked out of the bathroom, you got a trail of toilet paper stuck to your foot or something like that?
Full disclosure, if we're recording, off the air.
No.
Yes, I have.
Oh,
and
man.
probably more recent than I care to admit.
That's so embarrassing.
That's funny. All right, so it was a huge weekend around the lake, and I actually was going over the Bagel Dam Strip on Friday before they shut it down, over the weekend.
Yeah.
And the cars were already lined up, the people were already here, and I was headed towards off Bagel Dam Boulevard up to where Target and CVS and all of those places are, where Big Thunder is, right up there at the end of Bagel Dam Boulevard. And traffic was literally backed up from the stoplight on 242 going down HH with Bagel Dam Boulevard all the way up to where Lake Expo and Second Home Living Showcase Publishing's office was. And that was Friday around 5:30. So if it was that busy, you saw the crowd Saturday, Sunday early. It was crazy before people started getting out. And that's all the while the Harbor Hop was going on and the lake was bustling. So it's such an encouraging start. It was what we call the official kickoff to the lake season. And it's going to be a big one. Now, another thing we got to talk about that's happening here at the lake, we talked about it last week, but we're seeing more and more, there's bears everywhere at the lake, getting in dumpsters on people's porch, hanging out with people's dogs. I mean, it's crazy.
And the latest one I saw was in Camdenton, right?
Yeah.
So, last week we talked about the ones in Laurie Sunrise Beach. They got on camera, and I think, I don't know if they got this one on camera in Camdenton, but another sighting.
Yeah, and we got a couple pictures here. We pulled off of Facebook, just different places. Hopefully our crew's diligent enough to put where this is located.
Right, yeah.
But the video-wise right here, this is actually the recording at an apartment complex in Sunrise Beach. I know this because I used to live there.
Yeah.
And this video you see here is this massive bear in the dumpster, just crazy. And that video hit Lake Area Happenings and went crazy. And then after that, you see these other pictures. And that's after we had shown you the last few clips and pictures on last week's show.
Yeah.
So they're becoming more and more frequent, these bear spottings. Wow. And so I put a feeler in the Missouri Department of Conservation, and I want to get with them, and so Chris and I love to talk about stuff. We're not real smart about a lot of stuff. We'll give you opinions, our takes, our stance, but we want the experts a lot of times. And so we put a feeler into Missouri Department of Conservation. I'm hoping to have one of them on the show next week so they can kind of field that and tell the people here at the lake how to prevent an encounter, if you see on what you can do. And there's also measures I know you can take to keep them away from your property. They love trash, they love debris, they love things they can eat, and so you got to be mindful about that.
Yeah, and sometimes we forget we live in such a civilized world now, we forget that there are wild things out there that can really hurt you. I grew up in Wyoming, and there were stories of people from the east that would come. They didn't know these were wild animals, and they'd go to Yellowstone and try to take their pictures with a bear and then get it. So be careful out there.
Well, the ignorance of people is crazy. I saw, because of the bears, it got me on a tangent the other night, watching videos, and they kept recommending me another one, and it was maybe it was a national park, but there was a bunch of cubs, and the mama bear was there with the cubs.
Not
and these
the Chicago Cubs?
No, we don't talk about baseball. No one cares about baseball. Just like LeBron.
Like LeBron.
We don't like them. We don't like baseball. But literally, so the baby cubs with the mama bear was in sight, and this guy just kept trying to get closer like he was going to corral. And then as they made their way around the car, the guy goes around the car and then goes to confront the bear, and mama bear charges at him, takes a swipe at him. He eluded the swipe, and she luckily deflects and then follows the baby cubs into the woods. But what in the Sam heck are people thinking?
They're not.
Well, not only are bears incredibly powerful, they're sneaky fast.
Yeah.
They can run as fast as a cheetah at full speed. Bear, not for the same amount of time.
You wouldn't think it, but they are.
It is crazy how they can get booking. You've seen other bear videos of people skiing down a mountain, snow skiing.
Yeah.
And then a bear is behind them and keeping right up with them, stride for stride.
I think I saw that same video because there were a whole bunch of them of bears coming out of nowhere, and I mean, even by accident, just not attacking, just that they happen to run into these people on the trail.
And I do know this. I'm not going to try to give you too many facts or anything, but you don't really want to run. You want to play dead because there's no instinct for them to want something that's dead. When they see the movement or sense the fear, that killer instinct takes over, and that would explain when they see these people skiing down a mountain, they think that's food. They think that's their prey. And so they only know one thing, and that is attack. Everything else gets blocked out, and they're on their horse.
How hard would that be, though? I mean, you're face to face with a bear, and then to actually lay down and play dead. I mean, how tough would that be? Because your first instinct is to run.
Well, I would have soiled myself so severely, I probably would have blacked out just from being disgusted.
Certainly wouldn't be able to hide from him because he'd be able to smell you.
I got some real issues because you say this. I'm imagining myself skiing down a mountain and there's this bear chasing me. I'm so scared. I do what I said I did. I don't go to play dead. I do die because the bear smells it, picks up his
this
pursuit.
Cartoon picture of something coming out the back.
We're so sorry. You're so lucky to get this side of Uncle
love
Chris.
this show. This is such a
Wild
fun show.
So the bear saga continues, and we will try to have more on that. All right, so our next local story, one you sent me, courtesy of our friends at Lake Expo.
Yeah.
Police say man tried to poison mother's boyfriend with peanuts. Now, I don't mean to laugh, to be insensitive. I'm just saying, like, how many juicy headlines at the lake. You got people firing off rounds in a car.
Wow.
You have murder for hire plot. You have the mayor situation. And then this. The police say man tried to poison mother's boyfriend with peanuts.
Yeah, St. Joseph's guy has been charged with first-degree assault, allegedly using peanuts to try and trigger a severe allergic reaction. I mean, who can think this stuff up, right?
Well, it's pretty smart. You know?
I mean, guy's name is Jacob Hunter Andes, I believe, 27 years old, charged with assault, first degree. Camden City Police say they met with his mom's boyfriend about the allegation. He'd attempted to trigger an allergic reaction, placing peanuts in the man's canister of coffee, laundry soap, and underwear drawer. I mean, unbelievable, right?
That's what I call thinking outside the box.
Yeah, I'm telling you what.
He didn't hire somebody for $1,500.
Yeah.
He goes, listen, I'm going to diabolically figure this out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and apparently he's not a nice guy. He was already in the detention center for an unrelated charge, so he's got some issues. And then apparently he was quoted as saying that he solves problems by hurting people. So this is not a nice guy, obviously, but trying to kill somebody with peanuts.
You can't make this stuff up. It's always going to be the juiciest, craziest, most outlandish lake area headline we have for you every week on this show. Okay, so last week we talked about Caleb Cunningham, appointed as the new Camden County prosecutor, and he talked about this week his priorities in a story with Lake Expo and what he wants to start doing.
Yeah, last week when we talked about it, it's like, okay, we have this new prosecutor, but what does he do? You know, and neither one of us really knew. So Caleb Cunningham, he replaces a former prosecutor, Heather Miller, who was appointed an associate justice, 26th Circuit apparently. So this Caleb Cunningham guy has been an assistant prosecutor here, had an active role in hiring the whole staff. So apparently he's pretty familiar with it, fairly responsible for what's already going on. Says his priorities are to continue to seek justice. That's good. Helping victims and serving the community. He also says he's worked with Sheriff Tony Helms very closely to secure better equipment for the deputies, and getting out there doing their work. That's been a big issue in Camden County, how much they pay the deputies and equipment and all that stuff. So hopefully this will be a nice step forward.
A lot of change recently when it comes to municipalities and local government, and you're seeing this new movement of concerned citizens, if you will, that are getting involved, don't necessarily have a history in politics, and I don't know, Caleb obviously does, but I'm telling you, this new wave of people, they're invested, they care, and they're getting involved, and I love to see it. Now, you got to go to another story. I just can't make you laugh so hard you cry again, because I was afraid we're going to have to take a break.
I've been crying all week. I was crying at Sing Your Heart Out the other night, man. It was so good.
He's talking about our Sunday night Sing Your Heart Out presented by Roof Masters. We have that at Captain Ron's, and we've got 2 weeks left in that. It's just a great event. Amateur singers come, and he cried because we always have, a winner takes home $100 cash, punches their ticket in the finale, and then they're vying for that $2,500 stay and play package. And we've always had some good performers, and someone wins it. But last Sunday night, we had two people that is sing off, and then got a dead tie.
Still tied, still couldn't decide a winner.
Yeah.
And so basically we had two winners and they were so good. I went up to them afterwards, and I actually told them, you guys made me cry, because they were that good.
And he made me cry because he's generous and said they both deserve $100.
Yep.
But he didn't have $100.
Of course, I didn't have the 100. Oh, here. Oh, no, I guess I don't.
He goes, but we do need to get that for them. I go, all right, well, I'll go use your credit card at the ATM. That's hilarious. But, guys, so we got that coming up Sunday. And
Come
then again,
join us for that, because that is so much fun.
And the next Sunday on the 16th will be the last week after this Sunday. And then, of course, the finale is on the 23rd. And you'll want to get there early. We will pack the house for that, and it should be a great night. So speaking of cool things happening at the lake, we told you about Magic Dragon Street Meet. A little crazy on the Bagel Dam Strip, as far as the amount of people. And you can also prepare for some closures along the Bagnell Dam Strip and Bagnell Dam Boulevard off of 54 over the next couple weeks. So work near and along Business Route 54 at Bagnell Dam will close the road over the next 2 weeks. This according to a story from Lake Expo. Crews with the Missouri Department of Transportation will replace a culvert pipe on Wednesday, May 5th, and repair shoulders Monday, May 10th through May 13th. So as the time you've seen this, it's underway, and make sure you guys expect delays. Motorists will need to use alternative routes around the dam. MoDOT says they appreciate the patience of travelers while this work takes place. You see them out there. A lot of stuff going on, the new overpass. I mean, there's many moving parts to this. Simple as like we talked about a couple weeks ago. It seems pretty simple to make a change like this, man. So complex.
Yeah.
So many moving parts. Okay, so the work is weather permitting, and it could be delayed. As you noticed, this week we've had some rain. For more information about this project or other transportation-related matters around the lake or Missouri, call 1-888-ASK MoDOT. That also is 275-6636, but you also can go to modot.com/central, or you can follow MoDOT Central Missouri District on Facebook or Twitter. But those guys are always working hard. When we had the ice and snow, their crews are out there making sure we can get to work and people are safe. So that is our last local story.
And let me just add to that real quick. We're celebrating the 90th birthday of Bagnell Dam, and they are going to be doing some work on the Bagnell Dam Road over the year, and they'll shut it down at times over the year just to keep it maintained and keep it going. When they put it in there, I mean, they didn't have the traffic they have now or the size of the vehicles, so they really have to keep up with that, so give them a break.
Yeah, and just a few years ago, they completed that $53 million reconstruction project with those anchors and that many thousands of tons of pounds of concrete on the face of the dam that you see on dam side. But I'll tell you what, yeah, that is a very big complex. I always think that's big. Then I look at a place like Hoover Dam, and to think when that was built, just crazy.
Yeah. The amount of concrete that they use to go into those things, it just blows your mind. Yeah.
Nuts. And you've heard the stories about Hoover Dam. That was during the Depression, and people that didn't have the same technology, the same equipment, the same means, and there's rumors, and some of them say they've been debunked, but there's people buried in the Hoover Dam in the concrete.
Because several people did die when they were constructing those, and they fell into the concrete, so they're there.
What are you going to do?
Exactly.
I'm not jumping in.
So no, there's really no way you can. So it is sad, but it does happen. The same thing happened on all those big things. I remember when they were building the Golden Gate Bridge. People would fall off. For the Golden Gate Bridge, they put a big net underneath to try to catch some of those people, and I think they saved like 30 lives or something of people who fell and were caught by the net. So, but those big things, especially back in the day, very dangerous.
All right, so on to sports. The NFL draft is in the books, and Kansas City made some headway trading their first-round draft pick to secure their line. They certainly did that all offseason. And in my opinion, I look at the draft, they continue to get strong on both sides of the line. They added tight end, but the big pick for me was a steal of the draft. Linebacker out of Missouri, Nick Bolton. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year this year for Missouri. Got him in round 2, 58th overall pick, and he doesn't move They say he's not as fast. Well, he makes up for his lack of speed with his lateral quickness and his instinct, and I think he is going to be a barn burner for the KC Chiefs defense, and they've always needed to get stronger at the linebacker position over the last couple of years. Been one of their knocks. Of course, they were used to have a guy by the name of Tamba Hali and Justin Houston, and when they had those two, then they had the likes of Dee Ford and Frank Clark, but just have not been the same at linebacker position. And I think Nick Bolton has an opportunity to be an incredible NFL linebacker. And late in the second round, big value for a guy that I think is going to come onto the scene and have that kind of impact for the Chiefs right away, I think.
Let's hope so. And let's hope the work that they've done on the offensive line works as well. I mean, they made some big changes on the offensive line. And the reason why they think this draft was really successful is because of that pre-draft trade they made to get the offensive lineman, I think, from the Ravens and solidify. Because if you remember the Super Bowl, Mahomes was running for his life. He did not have time. And it was the line that broke down. So hopefully they've got that shored up, and we'll see the Chiefs back in the Super Bowl, maybe winning it.
Yeah, the Chiefs have added 7 or 8 solid through the drafted free agency. They've added 7 to 8 viable starting offensive linemen, and that was their front office and head coach Andy Reid's priority this offseason. And I think it's going to pay dividends because you mentioned it. Mahomes could not get time in the pocket. The only reason that they lost to Tom Brady and the Bucs is because Mahomes had no time, and that was their biggest priority.
Yep.
And then, of course, you also had offensive lineman Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma in the second round as well. Then you had fourth round Florida State defensive end Joshua Kando, and he's quick, and he was really ranked higher. He could have went in the third round and lasted to the fourth, so good drafting all the way. And then they traded up. The only trade they moved up in the draft was to get a tight end, Duke tight end Noah Gray, in the fifth round. And Travis Kelce came in 2013. No doubt he's the most dominant, most sure-handed tight end in football. Don't come at me with that George Kittle stuff. He's done it for 1 year, and then he spends the rest of his career on the shelf. I get tired of people telling me that George Kittle's better than Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce's probably going to go down as the greatest tight end of all time. The only reason he wouldn't is if he doesn't stay in Kansas City, and then Tony Gonzalez will keep that. But Noah Gray, he may be the next Travis Kelce, but something tells me Kelce has a few more years. Also add receiver Cornell Powell from Clemson, offensive lineman from Tennessee, Trey Smith. And so overall, a really good draft. And I know it's early, but once the draft happens, it always seems to me like then preseason's here.
It is,
and then
pretty
it's
much
football Sunday time, and I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they do, as soon as the draft is done, they start up the off-season workout. They call them OTAs,
Yep.
organized team activities. But they have these weekends, OTAs, where they bring in the rookies, work them out, bring in the veterans, work them out, bring them together. So basically it is, the off-season does start. Of course, training camp doesn't start until July, but if you think about it, that's not that far off. I mean, we've got May, June, July coming. So, I mean, it's coming pretty fast.
And I'm pumped because this year will be the first year, only 3 preseason games. We have an 18-week NFL season with 17 regular season games for all teams. So that's super exciting. And did you see what game got added for the Chiefs?
I didn't.
I believe it's the Packers coming into Arrowhead.
Well, and the Packers having problems with Aaron Rodgers right now, right?
Yeah, you don't never know about Aaron Rodgers. He might be a little.
Yeah, he's
I'm telling you what, it's good in the sports card industry if you have Jordan Love cards, the rookie quarterback they drafted in the 2020 draft class. A lot of people say he's got to be the predecessor.
Yeah.
Reason I say sports cards is because Will's always willing to give you guys financial advice. I have no pot to piss in when it comes to that. But sports cards are big for me.
Yeah.
And I've been a huge sports card collector and investor for a long time. And so I saw this headline and it just blew my mind. It's good to be king. LeBron James, who's definitely not king. But in the sports world, I mean, people look at him and they think he's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm typically on these pages letting people know how much I dislike LeBron. And then they let me know how racist I am. And it's like, no, the guy's just a POS. But here's the story. According to ESPN, a 2003-2004 Upper Deck exquisite rookie patch autograph of LeBron James, limited print run of 23, privately sold for $5.2 million with the PWCC Marketplace. And that's a company I buy from regularly.
Yeah.
The Beckett Grading Services graded 9 with a perfect 10 autograph. And the record was previously, as crazy as it is, basketball is huge because it's international market. People in other countries collect it. Luka Doncic, he had a logo man that sold for $4.6 million.
Wow.
So if you've got sports cards, old, new, in your attic, in your mom's basement, you need to go pull those out and see what you've got, because the sports card market is booming right now, and we're seeing cards sell regularly for above that $1 million price. And 5 years ago, that had never, ever happened, and now you're seeing $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. Go figure. For a piece of cardboard with a picture of a guy playing with a ball on it. Kind of crazy, isn't it?
It is kind of crazy. Of course,
All right.
we live in a crazy world.
Speaking of crazy, Will's an idiot. Last week we talked about Jake Paul, and I told you guys that he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather. That was just a little taste of me prepping the show at 3 a.m. It's actually his brother Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
So when no one understood what I was talking about, it's because Will put his foot in his mouth and he is an idiot. So I apologize. Logan Paul will be fighting Floyd Mayweather.
Whoa.
Super excited
Got
for
close,
that.
right?
Not as excited as I am to see what Jake Paul's next fight will be. So I stand corrected. Poor Andy, he goes, yeah, I'll just take out 12 minutes of the show, and then what are we going to be left with? So, well, he's making their jobs really, really hard. So I wanted to let you guys know I was completely out there.
Well, it was a first for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, believe me, you could see Ricky and Andrew both shaking their heads. So along the fighting lines, though, Sam the Hillbilly Hammer, local boy, he's the #1 ranked heavyweight contender, and BKFC 18, scheduled for May 21st. He is going to be fighting Joey the Mexicutioner Beltran, and we'll have Sam on our show the week of that fight. Not this
great is
one,
that?
but mic'd up. And, man, I'm excited. He's getting trim. He's getting mean. So that'll be exciting. So look forward to that. I told you about Dogecoin every week.
Yeah.
This morning, it got up to 60 cents a share.
Wow.
After on last week's show, it was trading at 27, 28. So in 1 week, as I'm still pumping it to you guys, it's up over 115%. So not too late. Go look at Dogecoin. There's other cryptocurrencies out there, but I think Dogecoin is the one that has a lot of future potential, even at 53, 54 cents where it's at right now, and it hit 60 cents.
That's amazing.
Just a week ago, it was at 27 cents.
I know. Doubled there. It's pretty amazing.
So crazy. All right, Chris, you know what I need? I need a little inspiration.
Okay, you ready for this? Inspirational quote. Most people never run far enough on their first wind to find out that they've got a second wind, right? You know the old saying, the second wind kicks in. So, but if you give up, on your first wind, you're never going to find out you got a second wind.
Where's the first wind come from so I can get the energy to run in general?
I don't know, depends on, I'm not going to say.
Yeah. He goes, I better be careful here. This is
I
good.
better not say that, so. Okay, so you ready for the trivia question?
I'm ready.
What are the top selling spices in the world?
Garlic, basil, and salt.
No.
Okay.
Pepper is first, mustard is second. Pepper is the #1 selling spice, mustard #2. You would think it's salt and pepper, right?
But salt's not it's a mineral.
It's not a spice?
No, it's a mineral.
Huh.
It's iodine.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be considered a spice, I guess. But yeah, that makes sense. Pepper is a spice, and people love pepper. I love it. All right, so we don't have time for quick 2 questions because we only got about a minute left.
Right.
But lots happening. We told you about Roof Masters, Sing Your Heart Out. And if you see this before Thursday, May 6th, guys, listen. You got to get down to Quick Car if you're a healthcare worker or you're a nurse. They're going to give you a free wash. And then it doesn't matter who you are, the whole month of May, for the price of 1 wash, you can get your first month of the Unlimited Wash Club. For that price, big savings. Go down and see them. Mother's Day is this weekend.
Yeah.
We got brunches at both Captain Ron's and Chances Are on the west side.
Nice.
So you can take advantage of those. And another teaser, Lake TV should be coming to Amazon Fire Stick in the near future.
Oh, yeah.
Hoping to have that accomplished this summer, so it'll be available on other digital platforms. But that's basically it. We're happy to have KB.
Yep.
We're happy to be doing this show.
And Spotlight show this week, Clint Haig from School of the Osage. And next week, Mary Kay Von Brendel from the Ozarks Amphitheater. So we'll find out what's going on at the amphitheater.
And as we close, big shout out to Jill Ray and her crew here at Slumberland at the Lake. Come see them. They've got it all. And, of course, our crew. You got Ricky, you got Andrew, and Megan, who will make her debut this week on the Weekend at the Lake. Looking forward to seeing that. For Chris Schneider, Uncle Chris, I'm Will. We'll see you next week.